Hello, everyone, and welcome to our show today. Today, we're diving in. We're going to be talking about something we've never talked about before, but is extremely important. We're going to talk about LexisNexis. So, as you know, I'm really big here at Credit Suite on transparency, on teaching you guys where lenders are getting their data, where credit issuers are getting their data from. And this is absolutely mind blowing what's on your LexisNexis report. If you've not looked at your LexisNexis report, I will tell you it's the most intrusive thing you will ever experience. Mine is it's about 269 pages. About 270 pages is my credit report. There is an unbelievable amount of information. We're going to dive in and we're going to talk a little bit about what's on the report, how this information is used, and what you need to know and how it relates to you. So those of you that don't know me, my name's Ty Crandall. I'm actually the CEO at Credit Suite. And at Credit Suite, what we do is help businesses get capital. We do it by helping you become more fundable, by learning this kind of information so you can set up your business with the best chance of getting approved, and also getting financing for your business and getting business credit as well. So if we can ever help you along that line, feel free to reach out to us, 877-600-2487. Okay. So let's start with the beginning. What is LexisNexis? Well, this is a company that has a unique technology that they say increases efficiency when it comes to basically providing data to people that need it. We're going to talk about what this data is and how it's used. So they've got about 40 years consistent now where they've continued to grow. And they've customers in over 100 countries. They work with a bunch of different industries: insurance, government, financial services, debt collection, law enforcement, healthcare, and more. So we're going to dive in and look at each one of these individually. And this is really interesting information because, for example, the information that's relative here on why these companies would want this data is why you need to know what's on your LexisNexis credit report. Because everything from judgments, what you would expect, but everything from your conviction records, your traffic tickets, your insurance companies, the policies you've had, it's all on here, which is why all these services are using it. So recently, as recent as last year, they actually entered into a partnership with the Small Business Finance Exchange. This is huge because they are now only one of 3 certified vendors. Let me explain how the Small Business Finance Exchange works. You need to know this. What happens is SBFE, Small Business Finance Exchange, is owned by its members. The members are banks. They're lenders. Lenders have what is called SBFE. It's a huge data warehouse that takes all your data and stores it. Every time you complete a loan application, that data goes in there. Okay. Every time that your loan payments are made to a member, it goes in there. So all these banks share your data. Then what happens is the credit reporting agencies also get in there, get the data, and that's some of the data that you see on your business credit reports. So LexisNexis is now the only 3rd vendor, which is one of these reporting agencies, to use this data. So it's a really big deal because this data that they're getting and using, this is the stuff that lenders use to approve or deny your loan applications. So again, SBFE members can benefit from LexisNexis tools and technology that non-members can't. And again, we talked a little bit about, what they've got. And I'm not going to get into the specifics of proprietary linking technology and all of their languaging, but what it really comes down to is this. They have, like a lot of reporting agencies do, a unique way of getting and finding data about you. You see, people think that you may have a credit report with TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, but you really don't. There's no credit report for you with TransUnion, for example. What happens is when you go to TransUnion and ask for your credit report, or somebody asks for a credit report on your behalf, like to get you a car loan, they submit your information to TransUnion. Everybody's credit information is just floating around in this little cyberspace world. And then TransUnion takes all the data they believe is relative to you and populate it and pull it all in and populate it onto one credit report. This is where identity theft comes into. Most identity theft isn't really identity theft. What's happening is the actual reporting agency is gathering data that's not yours that they think is, and they populate it on that credit report, and you think you have identity theft. And this often happens when you have a similar social security number or name to the individual. So in this case, what they're ultimately doing is they're very good at gathering all of this information and then linking it to you as an individual and then populating it into your credit report. So what does it mean? Well, people that are using LexisNexis are doing a lot of things with it. Now, again, you're probably not going to unless you're in financial services. If you don't have a reason to pull somebody's LexisNexis credit report to make lending or insurance issuing issuing decisions or for law enforcement, then you probably aren't going to get access to it. But the businesses that get it are, increasing profits and predicting behaviors of their potential client. They're streamlining a process. I mean, ultimately, they're looking for fraud. They're doing all these type of things. So fraud detection and preventions is very important to us. We don't really care about predictive behaviors and increasing profits. You may never use LexisNexis as a service to gather information on other people. But if you are applying for loans and financing, you care about fraud detection and preventions. And here's why. Most loans that get denied are not denied because you don't qualify. They're denied because the lender's concerned with potential fraud because of discrepancies that they're getting that are discrepancies between your loan application and data that they have. Remember, data that they have comes from that small business finance exchange. It comes from LexisNexis. Okay, so that's how that works. So this is really important because lenders are pulling LexisNexis to compare your application data against it, which is exactly why you need to get your LexisNexis credit report. I'm going to teach you how to do it for free. It costs you no money. I'll teach you how to get it and do everything you need to do. But it's important that you do this because what's happening is you apply for a loan. Lenders then look at your application data. They go into Small Business Finance Exchange or LexisNexis. The two are one and the same now. And then, or not one and the same, but LexisNexis is using Small Business Finance Exchange data. And if your data doesn't match with what they already know, they think it's potential fraud and the application gets denied. This is why so many of these loan applications get denied. So what is LexID? Well, this is basically what they call their proprietary technology that kind of links together this information. So it's, and I'll give it to you in their words. LexisNexis uses a proprietary linking technology in combination with their own unique identifier, LexID, to resolve, match, and manage information for more than 276 million U.S. consumer identities. So I think this is important. You can see how big their database is. This patented linking and clustering method is a machine behind what many LexisNexis products that leverage authentication, Bottom line is they're really good at getting information out in the universe and putting it onto your report and linking it to you. So how does it help these industries? Well, insurance, it helps determine risk, gives information used to determine price to charge specific customers for coverage. Information provided includes wrecks, traffic tickets, health history, and more. So your LexisNexis credit report has every single traffic violation you've ever had. It has wrecks, it has reckless driving, it has speeding tickets. By the way, it has all your charges, anything you've been charged with criminal-wise. It has your, if you're a sexual predator, that all information's all on there as well. And it also has information about every insurance policy you've ever owned and all the vehicles that you've ever owned. It's freaky. When you get this thing, it's freaky because you're seeing vehicles, you're seeing insurance policies you had 20, 30 years ago. It's all on this LexisNexis credit report. And that's why insurances use it, because you don't see that on credit reports. You don't see it on a consumer or business credit report. Doesn't have every insurance company you were ever with, every ticket you've ever had, the wrecks you've had, etc. But again, all of this is on there. So according to Adam Houston, Senior Director of Product Management for U.S. Car Connect, today, 85% of U.S. auto insurers use a LexisNexis pre-fill solution. Okay, so that goes to show you how important it is. You ever wonder what they're doing when you go to apply for insurance? Here it is. They're getting your data from LexisNexis because LexisNexis has all of your traffic history in it. That's where all that information is actually coming from. And there's the link, but that's way too long to even get into. So LexisNexis helps the government in a lot of ways too, right? They apply technology identifier to information that they already have. They provide more in-depth information and clearer insight. So what they're ultimately doing is the government uses a lot of this information as well for many different reasons, because it does have so much data, so much information on it. It also includes, for example, on your LexisNexis credit report, every license you've ever held. So, for example, I'm a pilot. I'm a private pilot. My private pilot's license was on there. I owned a mortgage company. My old mortgage license was on there as well. So all of that information. So as we go through this webinar, just start in your mind compiling a list of all the stuff that I'm telling you here is on there, because every insurance policy you've ever had, your entire criminal history, your entire driving history is on there, including wrecks and any kind of traffic violations you've ever had. You know, every pilot, every license you've ever had, professional license. Your LexisNexis credit report has every email address you've ever owned. It has every physical address you've ever lived at. Here's what's crazy. It has the building materials of your home, the type of air conditioning units you have, the square footage of your home, the materials that are made to create your roof are all on LexisNexis credit reports. So the government, amongst many other, are wanting to use that information because there is so much of it. So it helps lenders make a lot of credit issuing decisions also. Okay. And the reason for that is because it's aiding with compliance. Okay. What it's ultimately doing is it's really coming in and it's helping them cross check against fraud. It's helping them get all this information they normally wouldn't get. So for example, you might not have judgments on your credit report because the judgments weren't or were less than 10 years old or more than 10 years old, but they're still going to show on a LexisNexis credit report. So there's all kind of data on a LexisNexis credit report that even when it's off your consumer credit report, it's still available on LexisNexis. And the problem is, since you're not looking at LexisNexis and lenders and credit issuers are, you're at a huge disadvantage. Like they're getting all this information about you that you don't even know about, and they're making all these decisions based on this data, which is why I'm going to show you later how to actually get a copy of that report. So LexisNexis helps with a lot of collections as well. Okay, there's a lot of people that are using it in the collection industry and law enforcement as well, right? Because law enforcement, if you think about it, LexisNexis has all of your criminal history on it. All of the times you've been arrested, all of your convictions are on there. If you're a sexual predator, any of that kind of stuff is all on your LexisNexis credit report. So it's all used openly by law enforcement and public safety companies as well. Okay, it's also used with healthcare, okay, because there's a lot of information on there that will reduce risk to patients' employees, helps them stay compliant. Again, everybody's looking for compliance. What they're looking for is cross-checking your information against another database to make sure that it matches up. And LexisNexis is the database that's being used by these kind of professionals. So let's look at a real-time example. Butler Health Systems. He purchased multiple physicians' practices over a short period of time, 1 million records that represented only 740,000 unique patients, resulted in incomplete and disorganized records. Okay, so that's prevented them from providing patients with the best care. LexisNexis used their technology to weed out the multiples and link partial records. The end results of streamlined complete records for each patient. Look, I can go over 1 million examples of how this data is used by all these different industries, but it just kind of gives you an idea of one company and how it's actually being used. Now, I'm not going to talk a lot on the actual converting of leads because the reality is this is only ever going to help you if you actually can get LexisNexis access for your customers, and you're not going to unless you're in the insurance industry or unless the financial services or something where you would need to access this kind of information. But it has your aliases. Every single alias you've ever had. Again, every single phone number you've ever owned in your lifetime, every email you've ever owned, okay, every address that you've ever had. So you can imagine that it saves a bunch of time because instead of going looking everywhere for that information, if you have access to LexisNexis, you get all that information. So again, on the sales side, there's a lot of those benefits. But so a lot of things to keep in mind here. They have information on your business as well. So you got to make sure you're paying your business bills on time. Work with vendors and lenders that report. Work to keep personal credit in order, okay? Your LexisNexis credit report becomes really important when you're getting insurance, when you're obtaining any kind of credit and financing, okay? As well as when you're doing anything else that may be where the government's going to do a search or law enforcement or any of those type of things. So the main thing in you and I's world, in the business world, we just need to get this data so you can see what's on the report. You can dispute what's on the report. And then that way you can actually move on and you can make sure that you're getting treated the way you should be by lenders and credit issuers. Okay, so since 1970, LexisNexis worked to grow a suite of superpowers or services in an effort to help businesses flourish. Credit's a big part of it, but it isn't everything. Okay, so there's a lot of information available to help in a lot of areas, and calling them a credit agency really isn't enough. So pricing with them varies based on the type of entity and service to be rendered. Okay, government pricing schedule can be found here, LexisNexis.com/terms/government, and corporate legal searches could be here. Now I'm going to pull up a better link for you here in a second. I'm not sure if I have it up yet. Let me look and see. LexisNexis.com. Oh, LexisNexis, that would be right. So let me see if I can pull that up as well. I'm going to give you a shortcut. So how can you contact LexisNexis? Here's their information. Okay, you can actually call and you can go to 888-LEXIS, and that will actually help you get in touch with them. You can also fill out their online form here, LexisNexis.com/N-us contact dash us / contact dash us dot or dash rep dot page. Okay. Or start at their website, LexisNexis.com. Okay. So again, you can get a LexisNexis credit report. You fill out a form from them. It's 100% free to get, and you will get it in the mail. And when you get it in the mail, sit down and you're like I said, it's a pretty shocking thing. Okay, when I showed that to my wife, I'll never forget. I came home, I go, you need to see this. I handed her the credit report, and she looked at it and she was just appalled that so much information about us was out there, right? Because it has our marriage records, all of that stuff was all part of the LexisNexis credit report. So you need to see what's on there. You can call this number, go to LexisNexis.com to get that report. Okay, so 40 years of growth, really use an interesting technology to link all these things together. The reason you and I care about this is that people are getting this data to prevent fraud. Preventing fraud means turning down loans. That's what it means. So we need to make sure our loans aren't getting denied because they're accessing data that we don't know about. Okay, so this is why it matters most. Now, what you want to do is go to LexisNexis.com. I gave you the phone number to call as well. LexisNexis.com will give you a copy of your credit report. You'll be able to see there how you can actually, let me see, report. I thought I had a link on our website, but I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and just look at their website real quick while we're here. And I just typed in LexisNexis get reports, and I can see right here that I think you can access your personal information. So it's personalreports.lexisnexis.com. Let's go ahead and see if we can figure this out. Okay, full disclosure request form. Okay, and here it is. You fill out this form. And then once you fill out the form and send it in to them, you get your report. It took me less than 30 days to be able to do it. So I just showed you that process. We're going to go to LexisNexis. I Googled this, but you can go to personalreports.lexisnexis.com. Okay, if you go there, you saw me click through, get my full disclosure, fill out forms, super simple form. So it's super simple it is. And then you mail it into them. And then what they do is they send it to you within about 30 days. That's how the process works. It's 100% free to get a copy of your LexisNexis report. Obviously, since it's being used by so many people, get it. Okay. And then when you get it, like, don't send me angry emails about how stunned you are of the insane amount of information that's on there. I feel your pain. This is why I'm teaching about it. As a matter of fact, next month, we are doing an hour-and-a-half webinar where we're going through my LexisNexis credit report. Yep. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to show you my LexisNexis credit report so you can actually see what's on there. I want you to see. Of course, I blocked out my social and all that crazy stuff, but I want you to see all the kind of stuff that's on that report. So next month, if you're tuned in with us and you go to CREDITSUITE.com /EIN, for example, grab our free guide, get on our email list, then we're going to notify you when we go live. We're going to spend about 90 minutes going through an actual LexisNexis credit report so you can see all the aspects that's on there. One other thing you should know, we partnered with LexisNexis. We have partnered with LexisNexis for the first time ever to take their data and put it into a front-facing score we're calling fundability. And we're doing this, and we have every intention of giving it away for free because you need to know what's on your credit report. So we're working with LexisNexis. We're now getting all the data from them, and we're putting it into a score where you'll have the ability in the future to cross-check your information against theirs, and you'll be able to access that probably at no cost. So again, if you're not on our list, CREDITSUITE.com /EIN, grab a free guide to build business credit, get on our list. We'll notify you when we're going through next month and doing the LexisNexis credit report review, and we'll notify you when fundability rolls out for the first time ever as a consumer. You'll then have the ability to have your data cross-checked against the application data you're going to put. You'll be able to recognize discrepancies, make corrections before you even apply, making it even easier to get approved. So stay tuned. That is yet to come. And don't forget, at CreditSuite.com, if you go to the top right of our page, we have free training weekly. We go live on Facebook on Wednesday at 4. We go live on YouTube at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. And then we also have hundreds of videos on YouTube. We have over 270 episodes of our podcast with hundreds of thousands of downloads. So all kinds of ways that you can get this information on the fly. If you have any questions, reach out to us, 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com, or just visit our main website, creditsuite.com. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.